This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, Rabbi Glatstein. We're a few days away from Lag BaOmer, so we want to get a little understanding and a little exposure to what this day is all about. Very mysterious day. Chassam Sofer writes in the Chuvos that V'taima Gufa Lo Yadana. I don't really know what the reason for Lag BaOmer is. After all the various reasons given in the Mefarshim, in the Meiri, in the Pri Chadash, Chassam Sofer says, I'm not really sure what this day is all about. So, if Chassam Sofer says he doesn't know, how are we supposed to know? But even after he writes he doesn't know, he offers two explanations for the day. And therefore we're going to attempt on some level to try to explain the significance of the day of Lag BaOmer. And today, maybe more than usual, we're going to delve into some of the more sublime levels of the Torah, some of the more mystical aspects of the Torah. And let us begin. The Bnei Yissaschar tells us that in Perkei Avos and Perek Beis, the Mishnah says that Rabbi Yochai ben Zakkai had 5 Talmidim, and he gives them a charge. He says, Amar lahem, Su'uru ezehu derech toiva sheyidbak b'ha'adam. He says to them, go out and see what is the good path that a person should cling to. What is toiv? Ezehu derech toiva. Notice, if I were to ask you what is toiv, the only way to determine what is toiv is you have to look, what does the Torah define as toiv? So actually, very interestingly, the first time the Torah says the word toiv is Vayar Elokim es ha'ar ki toiv, in the beginning of Bereshis. So the Bnei Yissaschar writes that if you count 32 words from the beginning of Bereshis, the 33rd word is the word toiv. Vayar Elokim es ha'ar ki toiv. That is word number 33. Says Bnei Yissaschar, we know that when Rabbi Yochai ben Zakkai posed this question, Ezehu derech toiva sheyidbak b'ha'adam, his Talmud, the greatest of his Talmidim, Rabbi Elazar ben Arach, he responded, Leiv toiv, a good heart. What does Leiv toiv mean? So, if you count up the numerical value of Leiv toiv, Leiv is 32, Toiv is, Tes is 9, Vav is 6, Vez is 2, 17, 32 and 17, 49. In other words, what's good in this world? There's only one thing that's good. Ein Toiv Ela, Torah, right? Torah is good. How do you get to Torah? We know we have 49 days of Sfiras HaOmer. The 49 days of Sfiras HaOmer correspond to Leiv and then Toiv. Says Bnei Yissaschar further. Why do you need a Leiv Toiv to get to Torah? Well, there are two aspects of Torah. There's the Chachmas HaTorah, and then there are the secrets of the Torah. Yeah? How many pathways of Chachma are there? How many Nesivos HaChachma are there? Well, the first chapter of the Sefer HaYetzirah says, Lamed Beis Nesivos HaChachma. There are 32 pathways of Chachma, corresponding to the 32 times it says Elokim in the first parak of Bereshis. Okay? So the 32 pathways of Chachma. But once you've mastered the 32 pathways of Chachma, now you're ready for take 2. Now you're ready for the next level, the second level. The second level already is what? The secrets of the Torah. So once you've gotten to Leiv, now you're ready for Toiv. Now you're ready for Toiv. What's Toiv? Vayar Elokim es ha'ar ki Toiv. Now, what was that light? Right, the pasuk says Hashem saw the light was good, and Hashem put it away. Vayavdel Elokim, He put away the light. Chazal say that was the original light, the primordial light of creation. That was the Or Haganos. That Hashem did not want the Rishaim to benefit from the light, the original hidden light. So Hashem took it and He hid it away for the tzaddikim la'asad lavai. That light is the light of the secrets of the Torah. Once you've gotten 32. Once you've gotten the Chachmas HaTorah, the Lamed Beis Nesivos HaChachma, now you're ready for the 17, the Toiv. That's the secrets of the Torah. That's why word number 33 in the Torah is Toiv. Vayar Elokim es ha'ar ki Toiv. That means level 33 represents the secrets of the Torah. So you have 32 corresponding to Chachmas HaTorah and 17 corresponding to the secrets of the Torah. Says Bnei Yissaschar, it is then no wonder that on the 33rd day of the Yomer, the day that corresponds to Toiv, that is the day, Yoima de Hilula de Reb Shimon bar Yochai. We have a tradition that it's on that day Reb Shimon bar Yochai went up to Shamayim, and it's on that day he began to teach his student Rabbi Abba the secrets of the Torah. We know, or you should know, that Reb Shimon bar Yochai did not write the Zohar HaKadosh. He dictated the Zohar HaKadosh to his student Rabbi Abba, and that was on the last day of his life, on the 33rd day of the Yomer. And says the Bnei Yissaschar, it is reasonable to conjecture, even though we have no evidence to this, that just like Reb Shimon bar Yochai passed away on Lag BaOmer, this is the conjecture of the Bnei Yissaschar. Likewise, it's reasonable he was probably born on that day as well, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Yamalei Shnoisem Shel Tzadikim Miyom Liyom Umishana Lashana. So therefore we are assuming Reb Shimon bar Yochai was born on that day also, which means the 33rd day of the Yomer is the day that what chelak of the Torah began to glimmer and sparkle, the secrets of the Torah. That's why Reb Shimon bar Yochai in the Zohar is called what? Baitzina Kadisha. What does Baitzina Kadisha mean? The Ner Kadosh, the holy lamp. Why the holy lamp? Because he began to illuminate to the world from the Ar Haganos. And Rabbi Sai, that is why he called the Sefer HaZohar. What does Zohar mean? Light. Because, right, the illumination. So that was the contribution of Reb Shimon bar Yochai. So that's why he's called Baitzina Kadisha, the Ner HaKadosh. That's why he named the Sefer Zohar HaKadosh. That was his contribution to the world. And therefore the significance of Lag BaOmer is that is the day of the calendar that the secrets of the Torah began to become revealed to the world. Says the Bnei Yissaschar. So I want to share with you, Rabbi Sai, one comment of the Zohar, and there are many comments. The Zohar is a very large corpus of material. I want to share with you one statement of the Zohar, and I'm going to tell you why I'm sharing with you Dafka that statement. The Zohar says in Parshas Nosai, it's Daf Kuf Chav Daled in the Dfus Yashan, and it says like this. Take a look at number 2. He says, "V'hamaskilim yavinu," those who are wise will understand. Misitra divina, from the side of understanding, di'ihu ilana dechaye, which is the tree of life. Beginayu idmar, because of it was said, "V'hamaskilim yazhiru kezayar harakiah," the wise will shine like the light of the firmament. Bahai chavura dilach, in your holy association, di'ihu sefer hazohar. Min zohara, it is the illumination, di'ima ilaha tshuva, of the Supreme Mother. Be'ilein loit sarach nisayon. Says the Zohar the following. Ready? You should have these words memorized. Of all the Zohar, if you want to know one Zohar, know this line. Uvegin da'asidin Yisrael lemita me'ilana dechaye. And because Klal Yisrael is destined to taste from the tree of life. What is the tree of life? The Iyu Hai Sefer HaZohar, which is the book of the Zohar. Yipkun Bey Min Galusa Berachameh. Hashem will take us out of Galus in mercy. This is a very well-known statement of the Zohar. Again, Uvegin Da'asidin Yisrael Emita Me'ilona Dechaye. Because Klal Yisrael are destined to taste from the tree of life. Hai Sefer HaZohar, which is the book of the Zohar. Yifkun Bey Min Galusa Berachameh. They will be redeemed from Galus with Rachamim. In other words, Rav Shimon is telling us, open, black and white, that what is the hallmark of the Geula? The hallmark, the highlight of the Geula is the Limud HaZohar, the Limud of the Stoidos HaTorah. And what we would like to explain is, how is this the hallmark of the Geula? What does this have to do with the redemption? Why is this such an important factor of the redemption? And what does this mean for all of us? But this is the Chiddush of Reb Shimon bar Yochai. What will usher in the Geula Shlema is Klal Yisrael are destined to taste from the light of the Or HaGanos, the light of the tree of life, which is the Sefer HaZohar. And you should know that of all the statements of the Zohar, of all the tens of thousands of statements of the Zohar, the Ramchal, who is one of the certainly the all-time experts of this discipline of Chachma, he wrote a sefer on this line of the Zohar HaKadosh. And the name of the sefer, we're all familiar. The Ramchal wrote Mesilas Yesharim. He wrote Derech Hashem. Some may be familiar with Das Tevunos. But what many consider his most important work is the Adir B'Amoraim. And the Adir B'Amoraim starts with the following. Min hatikunim hagadolim sheniskenu ba'olam. One of the great rectifications in this world, Haya Sefer HaZoyar, was the book of the Zohar. Kasher nemar shvacha b'kama kaimos, like its praise is mentioned in many places. Mimenu atzmai, the book itself talks about its great praise. Kihu legeula huchan, the Zohar was prepared for redemption. Ula hatzmiach keren Yeshua lebeis Yisrael, and to cause the salvation to sprout. This is explained in many places, and specifically Parsha Nasai, and that is Uvegin de Asidin Yisrael lemita meilana dechaye diu hay sefer hazayar, because Klal Yisrael are destined to taste from the Zohar HaKadosh, Yifkun be min galusa berachame, they will be redeemed in mercy. So the entire sefer Adir B'Amoraim is predicated on this line of the Zohar, that the Jewish people are destined to taste from this great discipline, and through that, they will be redeemed. Okay, so I want to give you, before we begin, I'm not saying we're ready to learn the Zohar, that's not what we're here for today. I want you to have some background. What in the world is the Zohar HaKadosh? Oh, right? Everyone, Zohar. Now, what is it? What exactly is it? Okay, it's a body of knowledge, hidden knowledge. Was Reb Shimon Bar Yochai the first person to know this information? Now, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai was what? He was a Tana. Was he an early Tana, middle Tana, a late Tana? He's a very late Tana. One of the last of the Tana. Who was he a student of? Student of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva lived already after the Churban. So we're talking about from the last of the Tana. So, what about the earlier Tana? Did they know this information? Did Shmaya v'Avtalya know this information? Did the earlier, from the beginning of Pirkei Avos, you read Antignois Ish Soichai, right? Did he know this information? All the earlier Tanaim, all the Zugais, Hillel and Shammai, did they know this information? Why Dafka Reb Shimon Bar Yochai? Okay, so you have to know a very important yediyah. This is from the Arizal. The Arizal wrote a sefer, Shar Ma'amori Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. A lot of what I'm telling you today comes from the sefer Likutei Ma'amarim Shvilei Pinchas, Tafshin Samach Tes, and Tafshin Ayin. By the way, afterwards, Pinchas Friedman, the author of the Shvilei Pinchas, first of all, we've quoted him many times. He's the Rosh Kolim of Chasidei Belz. He's also a very friendly person. Anytime I've sent him a message, he responds to me immediately. So I think he's originally American, but besides writing Svarim on Chumash, he also has a sefer on the Pri Megadim Yeridea. So he's also a big Talmid Chacham, besides knowing this aspect of the Torah. And he quotes the Arizal. The Arizal says like this: there is no question that Reb Shimon Bar Yochai was not the first person to know this. The earlier Tanoim knew everything in the Zohar, even more than Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. So what was so special about Reb Shimon Bar Yochai that he authored the Zohar? So the Arizal says, there are different kinds of neshamas. Don't raise your hand, I know what kind of neshama I have. You'll tell me after if you think you know. Okay? The Arizal says, there are two kinds of neshamas. Some people come from the Ar HaMakif, and some people come from the Ar HaPnimi. There are two dimensions of light. There's a level of light which is on the outside, a surrounding light. Right, we say the mitzvah of tzitzis is connected to the Ar HaMakif, and then there's an inner light, Ar HaPnimi. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai emanated from the Ar HaMakif, from the outer external light. Anyone whose neshama comes from the Ar HaMakif, they have a certain talent. And their talent is, they could say the most sublime, mystical, deep concepts, but they know how to couch it and shroud it in terms and in language where you have no idea what they're saying.
They have no idea?
No, they have an idea.
You don't have. I have.
Thank you. In other words, people who come from the Ar HaMakif, if their neshama emanates from the outer light, they're able to say things cloaked and clothed and shrouded in a way where you think you understand what they're saying, but it's so couched and covered and hidden that really people don't understand what it means. Reb Shimon bar Yochai was the epitome, was the quintessential neshama from the Or HaMakif, where he was able to write all the secrets of the Torah in a way where the regular average Joe doesn't really understand what it means. That's the secret of says the Arizal, of the neshama of Reb Shimon bar Yochai, where the Arizal writes, "V'hinei Reb Shimon bar Yochai hoysa nishmasim mitzad ha'or ha'makif, v'lachein hoysa ba'koyach lahalbish hadvarim u'ladarshan, be'oifen sha'afim yirushem l'rabim." He could be giving a shiur, he could be telling hundreds of people, "Lo yavinum elami sharoi lahavinum." Only the one person who needs to know, he gets it, and the rest of the people, they shake their head, yeah, and really it's no. Really, they have no idea what he's saying. Okay? And that's why only he was given permission to write it, not because he mastered the ideas more than anybody else, not because he understood it more than anyone else, only because he had this unique talent. Okay. Comes the Ramchal. Again, I'm just giving you a background so you should know what is Zohar HaKadosh. The Ramchal writes in the Adir B'Amorim, page Chav Daled, 2 things to know about the Zohar. And that is, number 1, Mishnah. Who codified the Mishnayos? Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. Now, is the Mishnayos only the opinions of Rabbi? Of course not. You have hundreds of Tanaim, right? You have all the Talmidim. You have Reb Meir, and Rabbi Akiva, and Reb Patron, and Reb Gamliel, and Reb Shimon. Hundreds of Tanaim. What was unique about what Rebbe did? What Rebbe did was, he had the godless, and he had the financial ability, and he had the backing of Antoninos, to gather all the Chachmei Yisrael into one Moshav, and everyone was able to express their opinions, and Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi was able to amass and collect all the valuable opinions of the Tanoim and select what he wanted to preserve and to codify all the main ideas of the Tanoim. That was the Mishnah. So the Mishnah is not just Rebbe's opinion. The Mishnah is the collective body of the wisdom of the Tanoim. Well, says the Ramchal, what Rebbe did to the Mishnah, Reb Shimon bar Yochai did to the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah, Zohar is not the opinion of Reb Shimon bar Yochai. It's not the opinion of Abba. You look in the Zohar, you have many, many Tanoim quoted. What Reb Shimon did was, he gathered together what he calls Chevraya Kadisha, his holy fraternity, his holy association, and he collected all the Kabbalistic opinions of all the Tanoim, and he codified it through his student, Rabbi Abba in the Zohar. Yeah.
You say collected. I mean, they were over a generation. They didn't all show up in one place.
No, many of them even came after Shimon bar Yochai, but he was the main father of this project. And most of the information was collected by him, although you do have information from later Tanaim as well. And says the Yadir B'Amorim, says the Ramchal, what Rebbe did to the Mishnah, Reb Shimon bar Yochai did to the Kabbalah. But one added thing. The reason why the Zohar surpasses all the Sifrei Kabbalah, for example, the Ramchal writes, you have many Sfarim of Kabbalah. You have Sefer Yetzirah, you have Perkei Hecholos, Vilna Gaon very often quotes from Perkei Hecholos, you have Sefer Raziel, Sefer of Chanoich, you have Sefer HaBohir, Sefer HaKoneh. What was unique about the Zohar? This is very important, Nakuda. All the other Sfarim were merely a specific discipline of Chachma. The Zohar was the first Sefer Kabbalah, which was Perush al HaTorah. It's a commentary on the Chumash. So because of its association with the words of the Torah itself, that's what gives it a certain level of Kedusha that the other Sfarim did not have. Okay? Also very important Yediyah. Okay. Now, we'll get a little ethnical over here. Okay? No.
Why was it written in Aramaic?
Why was it written in Aramaic? Good question. The Gemara was also written in Aramaic. That was the language they spoke.
That was actually everyday life.
Okay. It's an important question. We're not going to discuss it right now. Okay, Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky speaks about it in the Emes L'Yaakov. Why they dafka? He says for the same reason they wrote the Gemara in Aramaic. And one of the reasons is to it has to do with the building of the second Beis Hamikdash and recognizing that wasn't a geula, and they continued to use the language of the Golos until the ultimate redemption. Okay.
Also, Rabbi made it because that was the everyday language.
Okay.
That was the everyday language.
Okay. Says the Chida, by the Ashkenazim you don't have this so much, but by the Sfardim, they love to say the Zohar HaKadosh. Any occasion, they open up the books, Zohar. Last night, I was invited to Chanukah Sabayis. So Ashkenazim don't even make Chanukah Sabayis often. Sfardim, Chanukah Sabayis. It's a good opportunity to read the Zohar. Whoa, why? It's a good opportunity. Pity, right? The night before the bris, you open up your Zohar, right? At the bris, you read the Zohar. At the Shabbos table, we read the Zohar. What are you reading the Zohar? Have any idea what you're talking about? Doesn't matter. Says the Chida. Chida writes in the Mara Ba'etzma, Limud Sefer HaZohar Meroimim Al Kol Limud. Learning the Zohar is the greatest limud. Bishegam Lo Yada Mai Kamar, even though you have no clue what you're talking about. V'av Sheyita B'kriyasa, even if you mispronounce the words. V'hu Tikun Gadol L'Neshama, it corrects your soul. Why? Even though the whole Chumash are the names of God, right? When you read Bereshis Bara Elokim Eis Hashem V'Zar, you're reading the names of Hashem. That's why we make Birchas HaTorah. What's the source for Birchas HaTorah? It says, Kishem Hashem Ekra. When you read the name of God, Havu Gadol Elokeinu, you have to make a bracha. Well, I never say the names of Hashem. Yeah, the Torah is the names of Hashem. The Ramban writes in this Hakdamah to Chumash, where our tradition is, all the words of the Chumash are Shemoisav Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So even though the whole Torah are the names of God, but, says the Chida, in a way the Zohar is greater in a sense than the Chumash itself. Why? Because the rest of the Chumash, it's the names of God, but it's couched and cloaked in a story. Avram Avinu, and Hilech Lecha, and the Akedah, and so when you're reading Chumash, your mind is not focused on the fact that these are names of God. Your mind is concentrating on the storyline. And Klal Yisrael's in the Midbar, and Hashem gave us a Torah, and we built a Mishkan. Even though really what you're reading are names of Hashem, but you're drawn away from that facet of the Torah because there's a story. But the Zohar is just raw names and secrets of the Torah, names of God. It's not couched in any cloak.
No narrative.
Even though we just said, what do you mean it's not couched in a cloak? The whole reason Rav Shimon was allowed to write the Zohar is because he knew, right, by the way, the Arizal says, that's what it means in the Zohar, I think it's in Mishpatim, that says, Yada bar Yochai le'istamra milsa. Rav Shimon knew how to couch his word, right? The language is, Brei Yochai yada le'astamra orchei. Rav Shimon knew how to couch it in language, but it's not couched in a story. The Torah is couched in a story. So there's a narrative. Good word. Right? So this way, when you're reading the narrative, your mind is distracted from the holiness and the sanctity of the names of Hashem. So therefore it says the Chida Mikamakim Nislav Shebechama Sipurim. Va'adam HaKareh, someone who reads it, Umeven HaSipurim, Noisein Daitay Al Pshat HaPashat. His mind is distracted and is focused on the simple reading. Aval Sefer HaZohar. But the book of the Zohar, Hein HaSoidois Atzman, they are the secrets of the Torah, Begiloi, in its raw form, V'hakare Yada, Yodea Sheim Soidos, and the reader knows that it's a secret, the Sisrei Torah, Elasheno Muvan, but we don't understand it. So therefore says the Chida, if you ever have an opportunity to read the Zohar, let's say a Masfardi invites you to his Chanukah Sabayis, don't say, no, I don't say that. You go along, it won't hurt your neshama, it'll be good for your neshama, even though you have no idea what you're talking about. So, it won't do you any harm. You open up a siddur and it says something from you read it, even though you have no clue what it means. It's good for your soul.
The neshama knows what it is.
It's good for the neshama. Okay? So Rabbi Sai, what we would like to investigate is exactly what is it about the Zohar HaKadosh, which is so sanctified, and in a way, what we're according to the Chida, an elevation even more than other halakim of Torah. Okay? There is a pismoin that is traditionally sung on Lag BaOmer. Bar Yochai, written by Reb Shimon ibn Levi from the Gedolei Marav, and he says like this: Bar Yochai b'kodesh hakadashim, in the Holy of Holies, Kav Yaroik Mechadesh Chadashim, the green string. Yeah, figure that one. Okay, Sheva Shabbosos, 7 weeks. Soid Chamishim, the secret of 50. So now we're being given a little clue here. that somehow Reb Shimon Bar Yochai has to do with the secret of 50. What does that mean? Is that your lucky number? Go play lotto and pick 50? If you win, I'll split it with you, okay? What does it mean exactly, the secret of 50? What is that supposed to mean? Says the Chassam Sofer. Says this in a number of places. We know there are 32 pathways of wisdom. And after pathway 32, you get to 33. 33 begins the secrets of the Torah. That's what David HaMelech means. Gal einai ve'abita niflois mitarasach. Gal einai, reveal my eyes, but it also means Gal Lamed Gimel. When you get to level 33, you'll understand the secrets of the Torah. Ready for this? Gal einai ve'abita nifla'is. Nifla'is, nun, pla'is. 50 wonders. In other words, there's a concept that there are 50 levels of Chachma, and somehow Reb Shimon Bar Yochai and Lag BaOmer is associated with the Shar Nun, the mysterious 50th branch of wisdom. Okay, where does this come from? Who made this up? There are 50 levels of Chachma, right? You ever hear the 48 ways of wisdom, right? The famous one. That it says in Pirkei there are 48 ways to be Kohenet Torah. Where does it come from? There are 50 levels of wisdom. It's a Gemara. It's a Gemara in Rosh Hashanah. The Gemara in Rosh Hashanah says on the Chaf Aleph on the Beis, Nun Sharei Bina Nivru Ba'olam. There are 50 gates of wisdom. Vekulan Nitnu LaMoshe. And they were all given to Moshe, Chasar Echad except for one. Shenemar, Batechasreyu, he was missing, he was lacking, Me'at, a little bit Me'ah like him. God is level 50, and Moshe had how many levels of Chachma? 49. And somehow, what the Chassam Sofer seems to be telling us, and what the Pismoin seems to be telling us, is that even though Moshe Rabbeinu only had 49, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai and the Zohar HaKadosh was on a higher level. It was what we call the Shar Nun, the 50th level of wisdom. Gal Einai Va'abita Nun Plais. Okay, you got it? That's what we're saying. That even though Moshe Rabbeinu only had 49 levels of Chachma, we're being led to think, some Sofer says, Nun Plais. The Pismoin says, Soid Chamishim, that somehow the Zohar HaKadosh is what we call the Shar Nun, the 50th level of wisdom. And the obvious question then is, like to paraphrase the Gemara Nida on Samach Beis Amid Beis, Rebbe Loishana Reb Chia Minale. How in the world could Reb Chia know something that Rebbe didn't teach? Rebbe was his Rebbe. The Talmud can't know more than the Rabbi. The student only knows what the Rebbe teaches him. So if Moshe is Moshe Rabbeinu, and he only had 49 levels of Chachma, how in the world did Reb Shimon Bar Yochai have 50 levels of Chachma? It's impossible. Right? How could the Noisei Na Torah, how could Moshe Rabbeinu, who was Moshe Kibel Torah Sinai, if he was only on level 49, how could the Zohar HaKadosh be on level 50? And to add insult to injury, to make things even worse, we know the famous Medrash, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, Amar number 11, V'aleim Chol HaDvarim, that the Luchas had Kechol HaDvarim, Kechol Dvarim HaDvarim, Mikra, Mishnah, Halachos, Talmud, Toseftos, Agados, Va'afilu, Ma'aseh, Talmud, Vasik, Asid, Loimer, Lefnei Rabbi, Kula, Nemru, L'Moshe Misinai. Moshe Rabbeinu knew everything. Every shiur, every sefer, every idea, every chidush, every machshava, every sheet, Moshe knew it all. Any question that you're thinking of asking, that's good. Moshe Rabbeinu already know. Moshe Rabbeinu already knew it. Chazal say, the Medrash continues, people think, oh, Reis Chadashu. Oh, look at the sefer, it's a new sefer. It's already over the hill. Kfar Hayala Ilamim, it's ready. No, Moshe Rabbeinu knew it already. So if that's the case, if Moshe Rabbeinu knew Kol HaTorah Kula, then how could we say Moshe Rabbeinu only had 49 levels of Chachma and Reb Shimon Yochai had the Shar Nun? Also, I'll ask you another question. What in the world is the Gemara saying that Moshe had Nun Shari Bina Nivru Ba'olam? Think about the language of the Gemara. There are 50 levels of Chachma. V'kula nitnu LaMoshe. They were all given to Moshe. Chasar Echad. Isn't that like a backward way of talking? There are 50 levels of Chachma. They're all given to Moshe, except for one. That's like, you have an itch on your left ear and you're scratching with the right. There's a certain city that they talk that way. Right? I don't want to, you shouldn't make fun of that city. When I grew up, the Rav where I grew up, he was a Rav in Chelm before he came to America. It's a real city. So, but anyway, that's what they colloquially, they say. But what do you mean? There are 50 levels of Chachma, and they're all given to Moshe Rabbeinu, except for one. Just talk like a mensch. Moshe was given 49 levels of Chachma. There are 50 levels of Chachma, but they're all given except for one. 50 minus 1. Isn't it straight? Let's say I tell you, the Shiur will end today at 11:30, 11:45 minus 15 minutes. You say the time. Usually people speak straight. You don't add numbers.
Marcos, you committing yourself to that?
What? No commitments. You just wasted time there, so right? So, Malchus. Yeah, but there it's Arbam Chazar. Here it's Kulon Chasar. What do you mean Kulon? It's not Kulon. You just want to do it bad enough if you have a number. But here it's a number, Nun, and it says Kulon, and then it says Chasar.
The word for this, Rebbe, is incongruous.
That's right. You're on the ball today, as usual. Okay? So, there's another pasuk. There's a pasuk in Sefer Yeshaya. In Yeshaya it says like this. Ki Torah me'iti teitzei. A Torah will emanate from me. Now what's that supposed to mean? Torah me'iti teitzei. I thought we already got the Torah. They told me Torah was given 3,300 years ago. And Yeshaya is saying, Ki Torah me'iti teitzei will go out. Will go out? We have it already. We have the Chumash. We have the Tanakh, we have the Mishnayos, we have the Gemara. What more is there? In fact, the Medrash adds, look at number 13, Amar Rabbi Avin Bar Kahana, Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Torah Chadasha Me'iti Teitzei, a new Torah will go out, Chidush Torah Me'iti Teitzei, a new Torah. Ayvei, Ribbana Shalaylam, a new Torah. That's against one of the Animamins. One of the Animamins is Animamin be'emuna shalema she'Torah zu loy tehei mochlefes v'loy tehei Torah acheres me'es habari yizbo shemai. Anytime there's any hafgana in Eretz Yisrael, they put up on the banner Torah zu loy tehei mochlefes. We know there's never going to be another Torah. There's one Torah. It was Nitna Misinai, and anyone who changes it, anyone who adds to it, anyone who subtracts from it, is an apikairas. And in fact, the Chassam Sofer says he can't understand the meaning of this pasuk and the meaning of this medrash. What do you mean, Torah chidush Torah me'iti teitzei? There's not going to be a new Torah. Torah zu loitei mochlefes. Says the medrash in Mamid Barabba, Parsha Yates, Ois, Vav, I believe. An amazing thing. Uchsiv, Eileh Hadvar, number 15, Asisim, Layazaptem, Ese, Ingsev, Ela Asisim, Shekvar, Asisi, the Rabbi Akiva, the Chaverav. You ready for this? Fasten your seatbelts. Devarim, Shloi, Niglu, Le Moshe, Niglu, Le Rabbi Akiva, the Chaverav. There's some chelek of Torah which was revealed to Rabbi Akiva and was not revealed to Moshe Rabbeinu.
Wow.
Says the pasuk in Eov, V'chol yikar ra'asa einai, all the honor his eye saw. Zeh Rabbi Akiva v'chavera. Rabbi Akiva saw everything, and Moshe didn't see everything. Says the Medrash. That's what I said before, and now I'm saying something different. It's what we call stira. Right? That's what we're here for. This Medrash says, V'chol yikar ra'asa einai. All the honor his eyes saw. Zeh Rabbi Akiva saw everything, Moshe did not see everything. What do you mean? We just said before that every single thing was nigla to Moshe Misinai. Even that a student is destined to ask. You can add the Gemara Nida says, Rabbi Loishana Reb Chia Minale. How did Rabbi Akiva see what Moshe Rabbeinu? But here the Medrash says black and white. Rabbi Akiva saw what Moshe didn't see. So now the question is, which Masechta did Rabbi Akiva see that Moshe didn't see? No Masechta we have on our shelf did Rabbi Akiva see and Moshe didn't see. Comes Reb Shmuel Vital that you want to know what Rabbi Akiva saw that Moshe didn't see? The Shar Nun, the 50th branch of wisdom.
Yeah.
Rabbi Akiva had it, Moshe did not. Says the Chida in the Dvash Lafi that if this is the Chelak of Torah that Rabbi Akiva knew and Moshe didn't know, the pasuk in Eov reads beautifully, V'chol and all. What's the gematria of V'chol? 50. Ra Seinai. Rabbi Akiva's eye saw. In other words, V'chol Yikar Ra Seinai. Rabbi Akiva saw Kol. Rabbi Akiva saw 50. Moshe didn't see 50. How much did Moshe see? Batechasreyu me'at me'alekim. He only saw 49. And says Rav Pinchas Friedman, according to this, it comes out very beautiful. A Gemara in Gittin. Okay, so what we're saying is, the chelik that Rabbi Akiva saw that Moshe didn't see is the Shar Nun, the 50th level of wisdom. Reb Shimon bar Yochai says the following statement. Look at number 18, in Gittin, Samach Zayin Amud Aleph. V'chein amar Reb Shimon letalmidav, B'nayai, my children, Shanu midoisai, learn my midos, learn my Torah. Shemidoisai trumais, my midos are trumais. And where did I get it from? Mi trumais midois of Shel Rabbi Akiva, from the truma of Rabbi Akiva. It's like a mystery, a cryptic message from Machon Maggid Harakiah. He tells his students, learn my Torah. You know where I got my Torah? What's my Torah? Truma. Where did I get it from? My Rabbi Akiva. Says the Shvilei Pinchas. It's beautiful. What percentage is truma? If you want to be generous, 1/40th. You want to be stingy, 1/60th. Average Joe, 1/50th. Truma is a remez to the 50th shar, the Shar Nun. Reb Shimon bar Yochai tells his Talmidim, come to my yeshiva. Because every other yeshiva, maybe they're lamdanim, but you know a chelik of Torah they don't have? Truma, Shar Nun. But I have the Shar Nun. Where did I get it from? How did Reb Shimon have the Shar Nun? Moshe didn't know the Shar Nun. I got it from my Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva knew the Shar Nun. That's the pasuk in Eov. B'chol yikar ra asayina. He saw a kol. He saw the 50th level of wisdom. By the way, you know all the Mefarshim struggle. What's Lag Ba'omer? Lag Ba'omer. Because the Talmidim Rabbi Akiva stopped dying. Guess why they stopped dying? Because he can only die once. They're all dead. That's why they stopped dying. There are 24,000 Talmidim. They all died. Oh, make a Yom Tif. Because they stopped dying. They're already dead. That's why they stopped dying. There was nobody left. That's the Pri Chadash's Kasha. What kind of reason is it? Oh, the Talmidim stopped dying. It's because there's no one left to die. That's his Kasha. So you say, oh, because it's the yard side of Rav Shimon bar Yochai. Really? It's that. You're happy that Rav Shimon bar Yochai died. When Moshe Rabbeinu died, you fast. Every other tzaddik died as a tainus. Rav Shimon bar Yochai, you're happy? That's some Sefer has. So what's the big simcha of Lag Ba'omer? So the Chida says, I'll tell you the simcha of Lag Ba'omer. All the Talmidim died. But we know the Gemara in Yevamos continues. What did Rabbi Akiva do when all his Talmidim died? He went to Rabbi Seinu Shabadarim and he taught 5 new Talmidim. Who were they? Right? Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Huda, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Elazar. Which Rabbi Shimon is that? Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. It's very reasonable, says the Chida, that on Lag Ba'omer, that's when Rabbi Akiva started to teach Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. That's the simcha of Lag Ba'omer. That's the day of the year that Rabbi Akiva began to teach Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. And therefore it's very reasonable, if Rabbi Akiva knew the Shar Nun, and he gave it over to Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, it's very reasonable it was on Lag Ba'omer itself that he taught him the Shar Nun. And therefore Rabbi Shimon gives off the message, Benayai, Shanu midoisai, learn my Torah. Shemidoisai trumais, I have the truma, I have the Shar Nun. Where did I get it from? From my Rabbi Akiva.
Where did Rabbi Akiva get it from?
So where did Rabbi Akiva get it from after all? If Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know it, how in the world did Rabbi Akiva know it?
Question, Boaz.
Says the Arizal. Ready? And the Shlach HaKadosh quotes this. We'll read it from the Shlach in Parshas Vaschanan. That even though the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah says Chamishim Sharei Bina Nivru V'chulan Nitnu L'Moshe Chasar Achas, you have to know how to read a Gemara. Chamishim Sharei Bina Nivru, there are 50 gates of wisdom. V'chulan Nitnu L'Moshe Kama, they were all given to Moshe. You know how many levels Moshe had? 50. Because if Rabbi Akiva knew it and Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai knew it, you could take it to the bank that Moshe Rabbeinu knew it. Chasar achas, and then one was taken away later.
Why?
First digest that. Yeah? All 50 were given to Moshe Rabbeinu, and then one, it's not the Pshat Hashem gave Moshe 49, then the Gemara would have said it like a mensch. The Gemara would have said there are 49 levels of Chachma that are given to Moshe. No. There are 50 levels of Chachma. How many were given to Moshe? Kula nitnu la Moshe. How do I know? Vayedaber Hashem al Moshe eis kol hadvarim. Kol is what? 50. Moshe had it all. But after the Chet Ho'egel, what does the pasuk say? Lech raid. Raid lech. Go down from lech. Go down from 50. That's what the Shach HaKadosh says. Lech raid. Lech is 50. Go down from 50. That's the meaning. Chamishim sharei bina nivru ba'olam v'nitnu l'Moshe. They're all given to Moshe except for one. That's pshat v'atachasriya me'at me Elokim. If you take the word Elokim and you take the smallest, the ma'at from Elokim, what is the smallest ois of Elokim? Aleph. You take away one. One was taken away from Elokim.
But Rebbe, the question is, why?
But on Moshe Rabbeinu's last day, he got it back. How do I know? Vayal Moshe me arvois Mayav. What's the gematria of Mayav? 49. Moshe Rabbeinu went up from the Arvois Mayav, Mem Vav Aleph Vez 49. Where did he go up to? El Har Nevai Nun Bai.
Wow.
The Shlach HaKadosh says, Vayal Moshe Me'arvois. Don't try this at home. There's a Shlach HaKadosh quoting that Rizal. Vayal Moshe Me'arvois Mayav, El Har Nevai Nun Bai. And Moshe, his name is Moshe, and now he has which ois? Nun. What do you do when you put the nun into Moshe? Neshama. He became a neshama. And we have a tradition that in every generation, Moshe Rabbeinu, every gadol has a spark of Moshe Rabbeinu. And how do we know that? Abai says a good svar. What do we compliment him? Moshe Shaper Kamrat. Moshe, you're saying good. Abai says, excuse me, my name is Abai. Why are you calling me Moshe? Rabbi says a good svar. Moshe Shaper Kamrat. In many places in Shas, the compliment we give the Amara, Moshe Shaper. What do you mean Moshe's name is not Moshe? The answer is, every gadol has in him a nitzutz of Moshe Rabbeinu, because Moshe Rabbeinu was a neshama. Vayisaber Hashem bi lamanchem. Vayisaber means Moshe Rabbeinu had the ibur. He was nisaber in all the gedolim of all the generations.
So the spark of Moshe and all the gedolim.
Yeah. But of all the gedolim that had this nitzutz of Moshe Rabbeinu, there was nobody more than Reb Shimon bar Yochai who was connected to Moshe Rabbeinu. How do I know that? The Arizal writes, look at number 26. The Arizal wrote a sefer on Shas, Likutei Shas. He didn't write it himself from his ideas. Says Arizal, number 26, Da, ki Reb Shimon bar Yochai alav shalom, haya nitzutz mi Moshe Rabbeinu. U'kemoshe Moshe barach mipnei cherav Paroi, just like Moshe ran from Paroi's sword. U'vehisig shleimusai ba'midbar, and he achieved his perfection in the desert. Reb Shimon bar Yochai ran away from the Kezar, and he reached his perfection in the Ma'ara. So the Arizal says clearly that, yes, every gadol has nitzutz shel Moshe, but Reb Shimon bar Yochai was the nitzutz of Moshe. And there's a sefer by Reb Asher Zelig Margolis, who points out no less than 60 common denominators between Moshe Rabbeinu and Reb Shimon bar Yochai. 60. Okay? By the way, there's a pasuk about Moshe Rabbeinu in Tehillim. Alisa la'amarim shavisa shevi. You went up to Shemaim and you took Shevi. What does it mean? You took a Chevy? 1985 version? What do you mean you took a Chevy? Chevy! Shimon bar Yochai. There's a very strong connection between Moshe Rabbeinu and Shimon bar Yochai. In fact, there's a Sefer Livnas HaSafir by Rav David, the son of Rabbi Yehuda HaChassid, who says that the cave that Moshe Rabbeinu was in, where the Rebbeinu Shem tells him, V'samticha b'nikras hatzur ad avri, that was the same cave that Rav Shimon Bar Yochai and Rabbi Elazar's son were in. You'll ask me, Akasha, what do you mean Moshe Rabbeinu was in the Midbar, and Midbar Sinai, and Rav Shimon Bar Yochai was somewhere in Eretz Yisrael? V'hamei v'in yavin. Now let me ask you, I'm going to ask you a personal question. Okay? You don't have to answer if you don't want. Okay? Do you say Hayoim, Yoim Echad, Ba'omer, or La'omer? Anybody want to offer their personal hanhaga? Don't be afraid.
Both.
Both.
You say both.
Yeah, I say both. Yeah.
Ba. So the Mishnah Berurah says La'omer. Mishnah Berurah says La'omer. Most Sfardim say Ba'omer. The Stipler said both. But it's a very contentious issue. You know, people get very heated about this machlokes. So there's Ba or La. I mean, you know. I have one kasha for you. Why, when it comes to the 33rd day of the Omer, Kulei Alma Pligi Lag Ba'omer? Oh, that's a riot to the buzz. The buzz should say, I have a riot, it's Ba. Nobody says Lag La'omer. You never heard no Haimish Yid ever said Lag La'omer. I mean, if some imagine a guy would get up and show Lag La'omer, he'd be like an oisvarf. Yeah? So, says the Tamei HaMenhagim, let me tell you something. Whether you say La, whether you say Ba, it's Lag Ba'omer. You know why? Because the gematria of Lag Ba'omer is Moshe. And therefore, since Reb Shimon Bar Yochai is so intimately connected with Moshe Rabbeinu, everyone agrees Lag Ba'omer. By the way, that is why whatever day of the week Lag Ba'omer falls out on is the same day of the week as Zayin Adar.
Always? Same day?
Do you remember cases otherwise? Not only that, Moshe Rabbeinu's Oshpizin on the 4th day of Sukkot is always the same day of the week as Lag Ba'omer. Always? I think so. If you catch me on this one, that's something. Yeah? So again, we see a tremendous connection between Moshe Rabbeinu and Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. In fact, the Ramchal says further. You ever, right? Yeah?
Thursday.
Very good. There we go. Zayin Adar is Thursday.
That's true.
And how about
the
4th day of Sukkot?
Could be switched, by the way. The decision could be low.
It depends. One of the versions. Yeah, one of the versions.
So that proves that that's the right.
The one that works out.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the right.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
The Ramchal says, in the Zohar you have Zohar Kodesh, Zohar. Then you have something called Raya Mehemna. Raya Mehemna means a faithful shepherd. The Adar B'Amorim says, what's Raya Mehemna? It's actually the neshama of Moshe Rabbeinu speaking. So again, we see tremendous kesher between Reb Shimon Bar Yochai and Moshe Rabbeinu.
For the record, it means the year Sukkot, it comes after, not before.
Achakach, that's what it says. Yeah.
Very good.
Okay. So Rabbi Sai, so what we're learning is, it's not the pshat that Rabbi Akiva knew the Sharnun and Moshe did not know. Moshe knew it. Vayidaber Hashem es kol hadar, he knew 50. After the Chet HaEgel, he was diminished. Lech Raid. But finally he got it back when on his last day, Vayal Moshe Meyar Voice 49 Moyav El Har Nevoy Nun Boy. By the way, I bring you another raya. Moshe Rabbeinu had the Shar Nun because what was his student's name? Yeshua bin Nun. Why not Ben Nun? What's Bin Nun? Says the Chassam Sofer. Bin Nun. He was able to be Lahavin, the Shar Nun of his Rebbe Moshe Rabbeinu.
Yeah, I understood.
Yeshua bin Nun. That's what Chassam Sofer writes. It's somewhere here. It's the number 37. That's why it's called Bin Nun. So what happened to the Shar Nun? Where is it? Where did it go? Where did it go? Well, everybody knows the word Yisrael stands for Yesh, Shishim, Ribai, Oisiyos, La Torah, not Bat Torah. It's a La. This one is, everyone agrees, is a La. La Torah. Yesh Shishim Riba Oisiyos La Torah. The problem is when you count the letters, they're only about 300,000, a little bit more than 300,000. Says the Chidah, it's not a problem. Because we know when Hashem gave the Torah to Moshe, He gave him Kol. He gave him the whole Torah, including the Shar Nun. But then after the Chet HaEgel, He had to take away the Shar Nun. The Shar Nun are the missing 300,000 Oisiyos in the Torah. Where are they? So you look in Parshas Holiest, and there's this little 85-letter paragraph. That paragraph used to be much longer. How much longer? 300,000 Oisiyos. But Hashem had to take away some of those Oisiyos, 99% of them, because that chilek of Torah is the Shar Nun. That's why, by the way, that's why the Gemara in Shabbos says, Chatza Amudei Shiva, really there's 7 books of the Torah. There's Bereshis, there's Shemais, there's Vayikra, there's Bamidbar before Vayim and Sarah, there's Vayim and Sarah, there's Bamidbar after, and Dvarim. What do you mean? How could one of the Sfarim only be 2 psukim long? The answer is it used to be the biggest one. And that's the middle one. It's the one that everything stands, it's the Shar Nun. Says Rabbi Glatstein, that's why that Parsha is indicated by 2 upside down Nuns. Look what happened to the Shar Nun! It was Nishapech, it had to be removed. That's a new pshat in Nun Avuchais.
Who says this?
Rabbi Glatstein.
Where?
And number 33 in the Tfaras Yonasan, Parshas Bahaloischa. Says Rabbi Glatstein, now we got the answer to the question. The pasuk says in Yeshaya, Torah me'iti Teitze. And the Medrash says, Torah Chadasha Me'iti Teitze. There's going to be a new Torah. New Torah. Some Sefer asks, Api Karsus, Torah Zulay Tehei Mochlafes. The answer is not, it's a new Torah, but it's not a new Torah. It's a new Torah because the world never had it. The world never was able to hold on to it.
It was taken away.
But it was Nitin Misinai, and it was stored away. Which Torah is this? The Shar Nun. The Shar Nun. Says Rabbi Glatstein is number 33. When the Medrash says, when the Navi says, Torah Chadasha Me'iti Teitze, this refers to the 50th level of knowledge that Moshe Rabbeinu was given, Klal Yisrael was given. Moshe gave over a little bit of it to Yeshua, but primarily it was taken away. These are the 300,000 Oisiyos that are preserved, La'asid Lavai, that in the future the world will again be given Torah Chadasha Me'iti Teitze. Say, this is deep stuff, Rabbi. This is Shar Nun. What are you talking about here? You're talking about the 50th level of Tumah, of Kedusha? The 50th level of Chachma? What are you talking about? So I'll tell you who talks about this. Rashi. Rashi? What? Rashi? I missed that Rashi. Rashi and Shir Hashirim. There's a pasuk in Shir Hashirim. I'm not sure maybe you got there. It's the second pasuk. Okay? Yisha Kaini Minashika Pihu. Right? We say to Rebbe Shalom, Yisha Kaini Minashika Pihu. Kiss us from the kisses of your mouth. What is this bakasha? Says Rashi. The Rebbe Shalom kissed us one time. When did he kiss us? Ki bi'ar panecha nasata lanu Hashem lo'ikeinu Teiras Chaim. Har Sinai, Hashem spoke to us, panim al panim. It was a neshika from the Rebbeinu Shalom. But we say, Rebbeinu Shalom, when you gave us that kiss, you held something back. We ask you, we want you to kiss us again. Yishakeni min neshikos pi. Says Rashi. You ready? Brace yourself. Number 32. V'nemar dugma shalai. Al shem shenasan lahem tayrasai. Rebbeinu Shalom gave us His Torah. V'diber imahem panim al panim. Rebbeinu Shalom spoke to us face to face. V'oisam doidim oidam arevim aleihen. And that love is still sweet to Klal Yisrael. Mikol sha'ashua. From any delight in this world, we still feel the kiss of the Rebbeinu Shalom. But says Rashi, we have a guarantee, we have a promise. Umuvtachim me'itai, Hashem promised us, lahoifia oir aleihim. Hashem's going to reveal Himself to us again. To do what? We already got the Torah. What's He going to reveal Himself again to? Livayer lohem soy ta'ameh. Rebbeinu Shalom gave us the Torah but He never revealed the secrets. He preserved the Shar Nun. Hashem promises us He's going to reveal Himself again to us to teach us the secrets of the Torah. Umistar tzafnuseha, and the hidden realms of its treasures. And therefore, since God promised us that He's going to reveal Himself to us again, umechalim panav, we beg Him, l'kayim devarai, to fulfill His promise. And how do we beg Him? We say, Ribbon Shalom, Yishakeni Minashikais Piyu. According to Rashi, this is a plead of Klal Yisrael. It's a heart-wrenching plea. Ribbon Shalom, you revealed yourself, you showed your korva to us one time, you gave us a neshika, we beg you do it again. What's He going to do again? What's He going to teach us again? Torah zulay tehim achlafes. You already gave us the Torah. But according to Rabbi Glatstein, and according to what we're learning, there was a Shar Nun which was held back, and the Ribbon Shalom is promising us the day will come where He's going to reveal it to us again. And by the way, the Zohar HaKadosh says, on the pasuk, He made Seischa me'eretz Mitzrayim arenu nifla'os. How many times does it say in the Chumash, Yetzias Mitzrayim? 50 times. The Zohar HaKadosh says, 50 times it says, Yetzias Mitzrayim. The Goyin asked, 90 times? It only counts the times that Hashem speaks to Klal Yisrael, not the times that Moshe speaks to Klal Yisrael. 50 times Hashem says, what's the significance of that? Significance of that is the same way Hashem took us out the first time with the Shar Nun, which is reflected by the 50 times it says Yetzias Mitzrayim. So too la'aseh lavai, the Rebbeinu Shalom is going to take us out with the 50th gate of wisdom. By the way, I know you were itching to hear something from Rupshitz, so I have it for you. No need to worry. We know that Moshe Rabbeinu was, the 50th level was taken away from him by the Chet Ha'egel, but the Luchos Rishonos had the 50th level. The Luchos Rishonos were put in the Aron, says the Zohar HaKodesh, Oyer Nun, the light of the 50th level. And therefore we understand that the same way Rebbeinu Shalom took us out of Mitzrayim the first time with the 50th level of Bina, with the 50 times it says Yetzias Mitzrayim, so too la'aseh lavai. The hallmark of the Geula, the hallmark of the future redemption, is going to be this rendezvous with Rebbeinu Shalom, which will be that just like we gathered around Har Sinai the first time, and we heard Hashem say, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, we daven in the Musaf, Hein Ga'alti Eschem Acharis Kereishis, right? We say to Rebbeinu Shalom, V'hu Yashmienu Birachamov Shenis Le'ene Kolchai Le'emar Ani Hashem Elokecha. What do you mean? Hashem's going to make us hear a second time? Ani Hashem Elokecha? When's that going to be? The answer is, there was something called Har Sinai, there was a Matan Torah, where the Mashiach revealed Himself before the whole world. The whole world saw Klal Yisrael hear the words of Hashem. That's going to happen again, when there's going to be another giving of the Torah, not a new Torah. It's not a Torah that didn't exist. It was a Torah that had to be held back, so to speak. The same way the original light of creation, the Ar Haganos, was Toiv. Toiv is 33. That's the 50th level of wisdom. It was preserved. The Rebbeinu Shalom created it, but it was held back. It was put away for the tzaddikim. By the way, where was it put? It was put in the Torah. So too, when Hashem gave us the Torah, He gave it, but then He held it back. There will be a time where the Rebbeinu Shalom reveals it again to the world, and that is the Sefer HaZayar. The Zohar HaKadosh has in it the Shar Nun. Does that mean we know how to access it? Does that mean we know how to derive the Shar Nun? No. As we learned in the beginning of the Shiur, Yada bar Yochai la'astamra milta. Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai knew how to cloak the Shar Nun, so that me and you are not extracting the Shar Nun today before the Yemais HaMashiach. But it's in there. The Sefer HaZayar has in it that Or Agonos, has in it the Shar Nun, that Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, Moshe knew it. It was taken away Somehow Rabbi Akiva was able to tap into it and retrieve it and pass it on to Rabbi Shimon Yochai. Rabbi Shimon Yochai was able to cloak it in the Lashon of Zohar. Yes?
Is the Zohar with 300,000 letters taken away one and the same?
No, lav dafka. There are 300,000 oisiyos. Maybe the Zohar is the ideas of them. The ideas contained within those 300,000 letters of the Torah, the ideas of them maybe are in the Zohar. I can't tell you what I don't know. I'm just a reporter. I'm just telling you the facts over here, and then you have to. But the Shvilei Pinchas says, "La'ased lavai b'mais haMashiach." Mashiach stands for Mashiach Yegale Shar Chamishim. Mashiach stands for Mashiach will reveal the 50th level of Chachma, which is brought down to the world through Rav Shimon bar Yochai, and this is the meaning of the Zohar in Parshas Nasai. Uvegin da asidin Yisrael mitzah mehai ilana dechaye ihi sefer hazoyar yipkun min galusa berachame. It's in the merit of learning this discipline of wisdom for those who are roi. It will usher in the geula and will give Klal Yisrael the great occasion that we'll hear from the Rebbeinu Shalom a second time. Ani Hashem lekeichem. So we're mispalo about Rav Shimon Yochai. Tairasoi magein lanu. Yamletz toiv ba'adenu adoinenu bar Yochai. Rabbi, have a wonderful day.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.